via Facebook or via our YouTube channel. We say good morning and welcome to the Mid-Morning Buzz. It's the 23rd day of the month of June, and certainly we're giving God thanks and praise for being alive and well. My guest this morning, as intimated, is from the Special Victims Unit, and she's a long-serving officer of the Royal Grenada Police Force, and she's Inspector Andrea Cadet Victor. Good morning, Inspector. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you, and good morning to all of our listeners.
Good morning to you. Before we get into the meat of the conversation, let's just, of course, highlight first and foremost the role, the purpose, and the function of the unit that you're part of, that you had.
Thank you. For the information of our listeners, the Special Victims Unit, primarily our focus is to incidents of domestic and sexual violence and child abuse. And we do so a lot in terms of ensuring that our officers are up to speed in terms of their capabilities to respond, the level of sensitivity. We focus a lot on training. We collaborate with stakeholders, and we focus a lot on being victims friendly. So in recent times, you would see a lot of improvement in the way the police deal with incidents of gender-based violence and child abuse, so that our victims can receive the kind of justice they deserve.
And I'm happy that you've highlighted the fact of being victim-based, because very often, traditionally, we know there was a history that went with that, but it's long gone. Let's kind of fast forward, because there's a lot that, of course, your role encompasses. COVID-19 has thrust us into a new dynamics and a new frontier, and one of the concerns coming out of it is, notwithstanding all of the economic challenges and so on, that it seems, some have argued, that it has provided an opportunity for predators to continue their parade, that parade on victims. What can you tell us in terms of the trends and some of the stats that has been revealed coming out of COVID-19?
Interesting, Mr. Cadore. The statistics reveal a little bit differently to what is perceived, and it is understood that during times of crisis, incidents of abuse is likely to take a hike. Our reported incidents, and I'm saying specifically according to our reported incidents to the RGPF, it shows a little differently. From January to June, we would have seen a total of 55 sexual incidents reported to the police. And specifically, it is just about half of what we would have seen for 2018 and 2019 respectively. So take, for example, 2018, we've seen a total of 126 incidents reported, and that is up to June. And in 2019, 111. So 55 is somewhat just under 50% of that total. Again, for domestic violence, we have the statistics up to May, and we would have had 435 incidents reported, and I'm speaking here throughout the tri-island state of Grenada, Carriacou, and PT Martinique. Between March and May of this period. Now, for 2018, for that period, we would have seen 1,070, and again for 2019, 1,097. So that's somewhat a minuscule figure of the overall total we usually see. One may ask, Joseph, what might be responsible for the reduction in the incidents reported. I can say from where I sit, there may not be any hard and fast response to that, but a multiplicity of factors can contribute to persons not being able to report. If we understand how violence occurs and persons who live in domestic violent environments, you'll find there are times when the would-be perpetrators or the alleged perpetrators are so much in control that the victims or the survivors are afraid to even pick up their phone to make a call. So while the services continue to exist and to be provided 24/7 by the police, we saw a significant reduction in the number of incidents reported specifically between March and June of this year. Again, you'll find too There may be persons that may not have been aware whether or not. So while they know the police is working, they may be wondering, well, is the Special Victims Unit working? Are they going to respond to my incident? You know, those sort of things. So I am happy that we were able to address some of it. And when you give me that opportunity, I'll go into how we would have dealt with those incidents throughout that period.
And certainly we'll be happy to know about that. Are you able to break down that statistics, that's the stats for me in terms of acts against minors and acts that is committed against adults? Do you have that?
Well, what I can say, I have the figures but not present, but I can tell you from having the knowledge of it, over 90% of those incidents in the terms of the sexual violence has been committed against persons under the age of 18. Our crux in terms of sexual violence is usually between 13 and 16. So that's our gap of major concern as always. In terms of the domestic violence issue is usually and more so intimate partner violence. And of course it involves adult females, 99% involve adult females. And so too with the sexual violence, most of them involve females. We only have, in terms of reports concerning male, a very minuscule percentage of that overall figure.
And the issues regarding male, as you've mentioned that, is it a case that it isn't happening, or is it a case of stigma that one would not report?
From my knowledge of the cycle of domestic violence and how it's perpetuated, I believe it's more an issue of stigma. I believe it's more an issue of how society responds to male persons in domestic violence than anything else. How men are socialized. Men are not expected to report that a girl, hit on me, a girl did this to me, had sex with me, a woman beat me. They will laugh at you. We know we've seen a significant shift in terms of a paradigm shift with the police, I want to say, in terms of recent years, how they respond to such incidents. And in domestic violence on a whole, where before you would find when you go to a police station, you might be laughed at and the male will say, that's man and woman business. That's not for you to come to the police. Now we embrace these issues a bit more in terms of responding objectively, in terms of having a better understanding of the Domestic Violence Act. We've also had in 2017 recent legislation that speaks to amendments to the police standing orders. It outlines the procedures which police should follow in responding to incidents of gender-based violence. That involves sexual violence, domestic violence. So we see holistic approach in terms of the response. When we're responding, for example, the police don't respond to sexual incidents alone. We work in tandem with the Child Protection Authority. So that in itself gives a different spin on things. They might be more sensitive in some instances based on their role, based on their background to those needs of minors and so on. So yes.
Let me ask you, Inspector, because it is always easy to highlight the problem and the stats is there. But I want if we can, take a real introspective look at the problem as it is, and what are some of the factors that would give rise to incidents of violence in this kind of acts that's perpetrated across whichever gender line?
If I would start with socialization, and one's upbringing has a lot to do what he or she turns out to be. And I can say studies have supported that persons who grow up in an abusive environment where they see social modeling, I want to lend the psychological term from Albert Bandura, social modeling, where children learn what they live. And if you are brought up in a home where every day daddy is hitting on mommy, mommy is verbally abusing daddy, vice versa, you too will pick up that way of life. So it becomes part of you. When we look at our sexual predators in Grenada, I'm speaking here convicted persons, the prison will tell you, the statistic, the data is there to show that the majority of these persons have been victims of sexual violence themselves or some form of major physical violence throughout their lifetime. So this is one of the major areas that can be responsible. Again, you find the environment that is created today is one where our kind of people are very materialistic. And I'm saying this in the context of we have a lot of our females who, although they're under the age of consent, they consent. So I'm hoping picking up what I'm saying. So they're under the age of 16 and the law say you cannot consent. But they agree to have sex with an individual and he or she becomes their boyfriend, quote unquote. And in return, they receive monies. Some parents receive monies as well and those sort of things. So they want to be in the game with their friends, in the latest style, the latest clothing, the latest hairstyle, and they accept funds from persons, all because probably they're vulnerable as well, and their socioeconomic background, probably parents may not be able to afford, and that too can lend itself. So the socioeconomic factor is one, socialization is another. There are other issues where young girls, the absence of the father figure in the home. And sometimes you have a father figure, but they're dormant. So they're very passive. So daddy is there, but daddy is not, mommy is also wearing the pants. And you find these girls are looking outside when they cannot get that kind of attention and support from their daddy. So
let me ask you.
Go on and on, and I'm certain, these are not all the factors, but these are just some of the contributing factors to what you're saying.
Let me ask you, you've heard of the argument, the consideration given to, as you talk about socialization, if children or individuals that would have grown up in an environment where they were constantly abused in the context of we may not have seen it as being physically abused, but you grew up where everything mommy beat you, so you do this, mommy beat you, and you grew up where corporal punishment is being seen as a remedy to cure everything. Could that also be a lending factor to it as well?
Well, certainly, and certainly, as I mentioned, the old adage, we live what we learn and vice versa. So if that's what you see, and remember, you can only, your knowledge only comes from what you know, what you were taught, right? So, yes. So if one was taught that beating is the means to correct issue, and we have that perception as well that men are to rule over women in that context, so they are in charge, and the context, the biblical context of man is the head of the home is usually misconstrued to believe that the man should beat on the woman if he believes she does something wrong. Yes, that too, and that is the only thing they know how. So that is, of course, what they will give out.
And that is the whole addresses the whole issue of control. I'm one that firmly believe that a man who hits, and I have no reservation as to rationale as to why you would do it. I don't ever subscribe to that. That is because he himself, he has his own issues, the issue to control as a way of hiding his own insecurities.
Certainly. To address his insecurities and his incompetence in some areas, because if he believes that, take instances where women work for more than men, that can be a challenge in our society. There are a number of factors, and remember, we can only be responsible or accountable for our actions. We cannot account for the action of someone else. So we often make excuses and say, she caused me to do that, or he caused me to do that. We must learn to take responsibility for our action and channel our anger in a different manner where we do not lash out by, on other persons.
You made reference to a lot of incidents that is perpetrated against young girls, that they get involved in sexual activities at a very young age. Do you see that directly related to the growing shift in how we see and address the issue of sexual intercourse? Years ago, and while a lot of things always had happened, but there was the value that sex was reserved for adults. Now we seem to get the sense that there's a more nonchalant, a more relaxed approach to sexual activities. Could that also be one of the factors that's given rise to where more and more young girls that get involved, and as such, it opens the way for them to become victims?
We can look at it from that angle, Joseph. I have a different take on it because I'm aware that maybe in our time, like I am 47, I'm not scared to say my age, but our parents, a lot of persons from the baby boomers era and so on, they would have had children at teenage years. The time then to now, then it might have been seen as persons did not have that kind of opportunities to go forward and report as much as they do now. Now persons are more au fait, persons are more educated on their rights and their responsibilities and how they can get help. In addition to the support system is more readily available now than before. So
Right.
I'm saying that parents do not have excuses. Nonetheless, you find it is not addressed as if it's a moral issue. So before and now, you would find before it was treated as if it's a moral issue. It was wrong, and even if you did it, it was dealt with. But now, we see parents condoning it a lot more than before, and it is normal, quote unquote, in many homes for a teenage girl to have a boyfriend and be sexually active, and no one sees it as a problem. I have serious issues with that. So I believe while we are more educated and we are more informed as to our rights, our responsibilities regarding the law, and we're more informed as to the support the system provides, persons are yet reluctant to come forward because some of them see it as normal way of life. He has a boyfriend, a girlfriend, they're close in age or sort of thing. It is accepted by society.
As you mentioned, we have the history, the whole factors of societal acceptance, things that are historical in nature. You hinted to, of course, a lot of individuals, they came from parents that would have had them pretty early in life, and there's that cycle that continues. Let's look at how do we deal with this, Inspector. It is a scourge. It is a scourge that if left unchecked is going to worsen. From a professional perspective, from the Special Victims Unit, from the evolving laws that protects children and women, how do we address this? And we've spoken specifically now from your unit. What can be done? If somebody's been abused, just take me through a rollout as how that will be treated from the Special Victims Unit's end.
Right. So we have in both forms, we can receive a call from the victim or survivor, as well as a walk-in person. Someone can walk in. In other instances, we also get a lot of referrals. So from the onset, we treat these incidents as a matter of urgency. So you would interview the person, make them comfortable. I believe we've done a lot in terms of the person's making them comfortable. Our environment at SBU, though not where we would want it to be, but it's somewhat conducive. So when you come in here, you get a little gospel music, you get a proper seat, you get a lot of smiles. We treat you as family. To be honest, from the minute you walk in, we treat you differently. You leave here feeling satisfied. So we would interview that person. If it's a minor, we get the Child Protection Authority to be on board from the onset. So we do not interview minors in relation to sexual incidents by ourselves. In some instances, we have the parent on board. We try to avoid that a lot because sometimes parents are not always cooperating parties. The Child Protection Authority, we interview that child. The next step is medical attention. So we must have the medical professionals on board. They do the check, we get that form written up, and we take a comprehensive statement from that child. Subsequent to that, we would follow up with the parents to see what's going on with the child. In sync with that, you have the Child Protection Authority providing that counseling sessions with that child. And if necessary, they go beyond, so the parents are involved. In the case of an adult, we do the same, and the Ministry of Social Development, that we work very closely with the gender-based violence unit and the counseling unit. So these two entities under the Ministry of Social Development, they work very closely with us. When there is an adult involved, they provide that support mechanism. One of the things we've been doing a lot, and you've seen within the COVID period from March to now, we've issued 22 protection orders. One of the salient things we do for victims, especially where they live together, in the interest of victims, especially when it's a serious issue, they seek protection orders and we prepare it on their behalf. And one of the things we're very sensitive to is the needs of persons in vulnerable and traumatized situations. So when they come here, they were already defeated psychologically. Their self-esteem is affected. They're frustrated. They're wondering whether or not the police will help me. Should I report against my boyfriend, my husband, a stranger? So we do a lot for them. We would assist them in filling out the protection order. We advise them, we call the court, they go to the court, and the magistrates, I must commend the courts. They would have worked excellent with us since the establishment of the unit, and particularly during the COVID period. So within usually the order will be issued the same day. They would get that interim protection order the very said day, and the order will be executed, which provides for the respondent, as it is called, meaning the perpetrator, to leave the home.
Okay.
So in cases of incest, we did that. So because we understand that there are limitations with the state. For example, homes for children and adults who are victims. And this is an alternative when you realize you can't find such placement for those persons at the time. It's mandatory, that person has to leave. We would have worked feverishly with these persons, and I must commend, as I said, the courts. During COVID period, for example, the court, the magistrate would come out at our request just to grant these orders for persons in need.
I'm going to ask you one of these thoughts.
So that's how we operate.
Right.
Oft times we follow up with these persons. In December of 2019, we would have had a session, a one-day session, mixed with training, development sessions, building self-esteem, and a lot of fun activities for all, we call them our children, all of our children who would have reported incidents to this unit. They become part of us. So we would have had these sessions for them, and we intend to make it an annual event so that we can continue to foster in these children the kind of attitude, the kind of self-esteem that they so deserve.
We ran out of the time, Inspector. Half an hour is almost done. But let me ask you these two questions from varied perspective. In the eventuality, traditionally, if it's an act that's perpetrated against a child, very often it is somebody within the child's inner circle that commits the act, and then there is always a hush within the family to address it. What protocol is there to ensure that that's not the case? And in the case where it's individuals within a relationship, very often one makes a report, and then they would then decide, you know what, I don't want to go through it again. Is it a case that once the report is made, the law takes over, and it doesn't allow for any reservations or anything by family members, or anything on the side? Take me through that for the next few minutes.
There is no law mandating the survivor or the victim, when he or she is an adult, there is no law compelling him or her to give evidence. But so especially under the laws of evidence, a wife is not compelled to give evidence against her husband and so on. But what we have done, and in most instances, we insist, given the extent of the incident, and I can tell you this, just last week, we would have arrested someone. The victim said she didn't want action, and when we assessed the nature of the incident, because she said in her statement, she said she thought she was going to die, and the evidence was there to support it. We took it to court nonetheless. So we would gauge based on the facts, based on the information from the victim in their statement, to determine whether or not we believe it's mandatory to go forward. There are other instances, a lot of speaking is done. And I can tell you, quite a bit of what was reported throughout our various police stations during the COVID period, the police would have had to intervene and do a lot of talking as opposed to arrest. So yes, a lot of that is done, but there are situations where we can decide, and I must say too, the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution worked very closely with us in this regard as well. We seek their advice and expertise very often, and they would advise as to what should happen in very serious incidents as well.
Great. Thank you, Inspector. It's a conversation I would hope that you and I, we're going to continue for the next hour, but our time has elapsed. Before we run, though, just give us an appreciation for how the unit can be contacted.
Okay, so our hotline is 400, so you can call 24/7 400 and you would get a response. And you can also call 440-4739 to get in touch with the office as well.
Thank you very much, Inspector Victor of the Special Victims Unit. We really do appreciate the work and the role and the support that you are giving to our vulnerable individuals in our society. Thanks again.
Thank you, Mr. Cadore, and pleasant good evening.
All the best to you. 29 minutes gone past the hour. We're speaking there with Inspector Andrea Cadet Victor of the Special Victims Unit. We're getting ready, of course, to head down south, further down south, where we are going to link up with Cami from the Real Value IGA. Where we take a quick commercial break, and then we'll be right back, right here on Classic.
Protect yourself and our community.
Music is on Classic FM 105.5 and 105.9 FM.
20 seconds. If soap and water are not available, use an alcohol-based hand sanitizer with at least 70% alcohol. Use a tissue when blowing your nose, sneezing, or coughing. Immediately discard the tissue properly and wash or sanitize your hands. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Let's do our part to ensure that each and every Grenadian remains healthy. To stay up to date, visit the Government of Grenada's webpage or the Ministry of Health's Facebook page. For more information, contact the Ministry of Health's hotline by calling 53-VIRUS. This has been a public service announcement brought to you by the Ministry of Health.
Television, that's just rejoined us. That's on GBN channel 7 and channel 11, channel 23 in cable. Those on Classic 105.5 and 105.9 on the FM band, and those on our sister station Hot 98. We say thanks, of course, for being part of the broadcast. It is Tuesday. We're heading now to Camellia Brown, marketing officer.
Can you hear me?
There you are. How are you?
I'm well. You know, the Sahara dust is interesting right now, but I'm okay.
You say interesting. You've been rather polite about it. Just as giving us hell. And while you add that, it's just a point to know that, of course, the parents, if you have not just parents, but parents, everybody, well, for starting with parents, if you, of course, you know you have a child that have any respiratory challenges, you need to make sure you take the necessary precautions to ensure that you take them, of course, monitor them, you keep them as best inside secure, and monitor exactly knowing what it is. If they're going out, do whatever it takes, of course, to make sure that they stay safe. Somebody at Cami, keep them inside. Yeah, the dust is really bad, and I realize it's giving you a really hard time.
It is. Absolutely.
So far, I've managed to stay a little bit okay. I try to stay under the radar of the dust. Talk to me, Cami.
So blessed.
I know last weekend was an exciting one for you, the team at Real Value IGA. I'm excited. Tell me, who won the case of bears?
Okay, so we have Tom Air. He won a brand new cooler filled with beers and ice. We had 3 types of beer in there, and he actually was very shocked. I mean, the sound of his voice, he was so enthusiastic about winning. It was kind of unbelievable, actually.
Right.
Yeah, so he won. He has it. If you want a picture of the person, we've put him up on Facebook so you could see that, And he said he was going to go with his colleagues and, drink some beers, have some fun. So we're always enthusiastic when somebody is happy, So.
Indeed, no doubt, no doubt. So Father's Day is all gone, but I know the excitement continues. Talk to me about some of the excitement.
How was your Father's Day, Joseph? Don't think I didn't forget you.
Well, if you did, I would have felt rather disappointed. My Father's Day was super. It was really, 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 really great. For me, I mean, I spent Father's Day connecting with him, with my little prince. Yeah, for me, that's what's special. You notice on my WhatsApp profile, it was pictures of him from birth until now. I dirtied WhatsApp with it. Yeah, at the end of the day, for me, it was just a day of connecting and recognizing, the things in life and the people in life that makes you happy, and why you get up every day and you work and do what you have to do, and appreciating the fact that we have a responsibility to him. It was wonderful.
Exactly. I totally do agree with you. Okay, so moving on from Father's Day, I hope everyone out there enjoyed it as well. Spend some time with the family, spend some time with your kids and stuff like that. So hopefully you would have enjoyed your Sunday, and it was spectacular. So moving on from Father's Day, so currently we have a taco promotion. I know a lot of people are home right now still, yes, and the kids, kids are interested when it comes to eating what you give them. Right. So sometimes you just need to spice things up a little bit. So currently we have a taco promotion. You purchase Old El Paso 6-inch tortillas, right, for $9.30 per package, or you purchase 2 for $15.75, saving you $2.85. Right, so that's tacos. We have them in our central area of the supermarket, and you could always pair it with corn. You could do diced tomatoes. You could do refried beans. You could also do. We have local fresh ground chicken in the supermarket, and also local fresh ground beef. And if you know anything about tacos, they're quite interesting, and you could always spice it up a little bit. You could tone it down if you want. You just get your tortillas. Well, in this case, it's soft tortillas. You put a little bit of cheese, some beef, some chicken, and some vegetables, and you eat. It's quite easy. It's interesting. You could always build your own taco.
Yes.
So, a little adventurous for the kids.
And it's a nice way of disguising it in terms of those that doesn't to have a full appreciation for veggies. Yeah.
Yes.
So by the time you cover it up with the cheese and little chicken or whatever, and the interesting thing is that you can make it very, very creative. You can either do a veggie taco, a beef taco, a chicken taco, whatever it is, and you could blind the veggies in there. And by the time they bite in and they get the crunch, yippee! Not realizing, hello, you just took down a mouthful of cucumbers, didn't you? You didn't know that, did you?
Yeah, you're a parent for real.
No, but you have to. No, you have to. You have to find really creative ways.
Yeah, because the children don't eat vegetables just like that. Anyway, all right. We also have a special on wines currently. We have Hardy's Notage Hill is an Australian wine. We have the Chardonnay, we have the Sauvignon Blanc, we have the Merlot, we have the Shiraz. The regular price is $37.70. Currently, it's $29.90, giving you a savings of $7.80. Right?
That's a saving.
The tacos. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. It's really a steal of a deal. And tacos are not only for kids. You could have a date night at home and do some tacos and do some wine as well. Symbiotic relationships.
I mean, and I agree with you. I mean, you just have some friends coming over. And the good thing about tacos is that it allows you to use almost every and anything in your fridge. that you probably normally would not see as composing to be a meal. Some cucumbers, some lettuce, some onions, some avocados are coming into season in a while. Anything,
Exactly.
you know. And then you can also get creative when you decide to put on your tacos. Maybe instead of cheese, maybe get a nice little mango sauce and juice a little on top. Oh, can we just keep quiet?
Oh wow!
Oh, good Lord, oh,
What
good
should you making my mouth water here, Joseph.
Go there to go get your tacos.
Yes, and remember, if you buy two, you save $2.85 on that as well. Right? Yeah, we also have large Argentinian garlic for $5 per pound. Remember as well, last week I spoke about fresh boneless chicken breast being $10 a pound, and it was $14.75. So you have a savings of $4.75 per pound. We also have Sadia chicken drumettes, you know, in the bigger package. I think it's 1 kg. And that's $8.89 per pound. We have chicken wings in bulk packaging, $4.24 per pound. We have whole legs for $4 per pound, right? So it's quite a bit of deals that you could use as well as a family. Because remember, if you say per pound, you could buy 2 pounds, you could buy 10 pounds, you know, whatever amount that you need for your household, you could buy, and it's a pretty good price for chicken wings. And I know, like right now, I don't want to say it's hard economic times, but remember, everyone right now is looking at their purchase, how they purchase items, you know, how they save their money, how they spend their money. We're a bit more conscious these days of where we put our money. So every dollar counts 100%.
And for those that are not too conscious, Real Value makes it easy for you in that it does give you some crazy savings and deals every week. There's always something that you can look forward to weekly at Real Value.
Yeah, and remember as well, Real Value doesn't skimp on quality. You know, these items are quality items. So, you know, you're not going to find like interesting things in your chicken or anything like that. You know, it's quality items. And remember, we have certain standards that we have to uphold all the time. Right, so we get good pricing and quality items, which it's a plus situation.
And you do have a mandate on supporting local as well.
Exactly, we do purchase 100% local items from our local farmers. Remember, we have our fresh local chicken, we have fresh local beef, we also have our produce, we have our spices and stuff. We have items that are made in Grenada, manufactured and made in Grenada as well, available at the supermarket. Arawak Island, we have quite a few barons, you know, those are a few good names that everybody knows that we have and are manufactured in Grenada as well. So IJ is 100% supporting local too. All right, let's just move on. Remember as well, last week I spoke about how we also have breakfast again at our hot food section. So breakfast starts from 8 a.m. and it goes till 10 a.m. And you just order your breakfast, it's made for you, and then we bring it out and you take it home or wherever you're going, right?
Right.
We also have, sorry?
I was just agreeing with you. So you have breakfast,
Yes, we have breakfast. We also have lunch from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. And before I had spoken about, we had pre-packaged food. Now we have the regular buffet available at the supermarket again. So you could always go choose your items. It will be plated and bagged up for you, so you can go with now. So no need to have the prepackaged food anymore. So we've lightened up a little bit, just as the entire country has as well. All right. We also have beef roast. Remember, we spoke about the yummy beef roast that you can make for Father's Day, but it's still available at the supermarket as well. So, you know, make things a little bit more interesting. We also have sales on craft dressing, select craft dressing. So if you're at the supermarket, just visit aisle 1 and you'll be able to see our discounts. We have like $1 here, $2 here, different things. Just to remind people as well, Real Value is now again open every day, Monday to Sunday, from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. Right? So we're available. And of course, still COVID-19 is still around. So we ask people to still maintain our guidelines. When you come to the supermarket or any building for that matter, to protect yourself and others, always walk with your mask, right? Joseph and I are in a room by ourselves.
And even when I'm in a room by myself, my mask is with me in case somebody comes in, and I've got I'm good to go. We are good to go.
Yes, right. So if anybody is around you, remember to always stay safe and healthy, because there's lots and lots of cases are growing worldwide again, and soon time, I don't know what will happen. But in the meantime, just to keep ourselves and others safe, our children, our grandparents, anybody you encounter, remember to always wear your mask, cover your mouth, cover your nose. Just to let you know as well, we're still sanitizing hands and carts upon entry into the supermarket.
And I think one of the good things coming out of COVID is that let's not be too worried about us getting the virus, but it's just proper hygiene.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, washing of the hands, covering, of course, of your mouth, you cover your cough, cover your sneeze. That is just proper hygiene. That is interesting. Those are some of the elementary stuff that we were taught as children. But now we're grown adults, and all of a sudden, some adults seem to have an issue. Why should I have to tell you to cover your nose when your mouth and your sneeze anyway? I don't know. But for those people who seem to have a hard time understanding the principle, just cover up, plain and simple. And I keep saying it's just a way. Just be selfish. If I go out of the way and be selfish to protect me, you can do the same thing. And everybody decides, you know what? I just want to keep me safe. For once in your life, you're allowed to adopt the I man philosophy. It's all about I and me, and everybody does that. We're all safe.
Yes.
Practice it.
Yes.
The I man philosophy.
Yes, we're all safe. Yes. Just remember to come down to Real Valley Supermarket. I had something else to say, but I don't think I should say it.
I realize you were battling with the thought.
It tends to happen sometimes.
Behave yourself.
Your thoughts and your words need to be cohesive, and sometimes they're not. So you just need to take a moment and reflect.
Well, it shows that you have good balance and control.
Well, thank you. Right. So our taco promotion is available. It's up for 2 weeks.
Right.
So it should be, I think, if I remember correctly, it will end around the 17th or so. Like the 21st of next month. So you have that available. And remember, as I said before, you can walk through all the aisles of the supermarket and you will always get some type of deal. It could be oil in aisle 1. It could be pasta in aisle 2, aisle 3. You could have some split peas So every aisle you go through, we try at least to have at least different tags with different savings.
Right.
Also remember, if you don't have a frequent shopper card, please get one. I know Joseph always walks with his in his wallet.
Oh yes.
Because he shops at Real Value.
Oh
and
yes.
He builds his points.
I am very greedy.
We all know you want what you want.
I want what I want.
And you're going to get it.
And I'm going to get it.
And you're going to get it. I think it's a fact of life about you.
Oh, yes.
So remember, the frequent shopper card is very easy to sign up for. You don't have to pay for it. If you're not coming to the supermarket that day, you could always sign up today, right now, this hour, this minute. We have on an online platform that you could always go. So visit realvalueij.com, and then you see frequent shopper. You just click on that link and you could sign up from right there as well.
When you're online, the facility, the shopping via WhatsApp shopping, how is that?
Yes, that's still available, and you can do it every day as well. Remember, you just need to follow the guidelines. The guidelines are it's available from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. and you can get same day pickup. And anytime after 11 a.m. to 4:30 p.m., it'll be next day pickup. So all you have to do is message 404-2121 with your order. Remember to place each item on a separate line, right? And just tell us the size. If you don't know the size, just be as specific as possible. For example, if you want oil. Don't just put oil. If you don't know the brand name, you could put vegetable oil, 100% vegetable oil, 100% canola oil. We could put small, medium, or large. That's a great indicator of what exactly it is that you're looking for without being extra specific, right? And remember, as I said, go ahead.
I was just about to ask you, what about if I give her the price range? I guess even that will be helpful as well?
That will be helpful as well. We tend to do that a lot for like produce items because, it's a supermarket. So you could say you want one, but you want 5 pounds of carrots instead of just 1 carrot.
Right.
Or like, instead of a head of garlic and you put 1 head of garlic, you could put a bag of garlic. Because we always have those 6 in a package garlic.
Right,
so
right.
just try to be as specific as possible. We're not asking for you to tell us every little detail, but whatever it is that you can remember that will be helpful would go a long way. All right?
Sounds like a plan.
Remember, Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying it sounds like a plan.
Yeah, so remember, as I said, it's 404-2121. I know a lot of people are still iffy about going outside unless it's absolutely necessary for them to. And I have no reason a lot of people don't have any reason for them to stop being cautious. All right, so I do understand, situation. So visit our WhatsApp number 404-2121 and get everything you need easily.
Anything that we've missed, Camellia?
Not for now, but I have some more information to give you on the next week.
Okay, I won't be too greedy today. I'll hold my appetite back for next week, my dear.
Yeah, because we know you're full already.
Yes. Thank you, Camellia Braggs. You're the marketing officer for Real Value IG. Of course, reminding you, special on their wines. You get a saving of more than in excess of $7. And you go through each and every aisle. You're guaranteed to find something that is on special. It happens only at Real Value IGA. You don't have to worry about parking and accommodations. Believe me, they have it all ready-made for you. Thank you, Lady Brown. All the best to you.
All right. Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you. Have a great one. Camellia Brown, the marketing officer at Real Value IGA. Certainly, it's always a pleasure to have her on a Tuesday. Thank you for those of us who, of course, will spend just under the last 50 minutes or so with us on television. It's a pleasure being with you. We'll be back with you tomorrow, the good Lord's willing, at 11 o'clock. So long, everybody, for now. For those of you that's on radio, we'll continue with you for the next few minutes to take you up onto the 12 o'clock mark. Take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back.